Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tiffany. Let's talk about self-care during stressful times. Now, I find that even as positive and as enthusiastic as I am as a person, that with everything that's going on, there are moments where I do feel overwhelmed, and I have to remind myself to breathe, remind myself to relax my shoulders a bit. And I think it's natural to be experiencing these feelings during this time, because COVID-19 is impacting every single area of our life, our lifestyles, our relationships, our work, our economy, even finances. So the question then is, how do you get self-care back on the agenda? How do you make sure that you're implementing small daily habits that actually promote a sense of well-being? I wanted to share 3 tips that I have been also applying to my life, and it has been working for me so far. Number 1 is, don't be so hard on yourself. Jess Glynn was right. Don't be so hard on yourself, no. Learn to forgive, learn to let go. Now, I might regret that later, but hey, it's done now. I think there's this, naturally as human beings, because we are so we have a tendency to compare ourselves to other people. It's natural to maybe feel like you're not being productive at this time. Maybe, other people who are starting businesses, they're learning to code in 6 weeks. Some people might be writing a book, and it's kind of like, what am I doing to get ahead during this time? But you have to understand something. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this is an unprecedented time. So we haven't had anything like this before. So naturally, you're simply maybe even just learning to cope. If you can learn to cope through this, you have done more than enough. If you can get out of this with sort of a sense of peace or sense of calm, you have done more than enough. Because right now, everyone has a unique sense of a unique set of struggles. We have a unique set of burdens that we're trying to cope with. Some people have lost their jobs, other people are still able to work from home and still getting paid. So for them, it might feel like a little bit of just having to work from a different environment. Some people have to socially distance from their friends and families. Other people have actually lost their friends and family, some friends and families to this, and haven't been able to even attend their funerals. So it's such a unique time. You can't compare yourself to other people in the sense of, I'm not maybe guessing ahead as they might be. So right now, just acknowledge where you are. Acknowledge the fact that you're trying your best to simply be okay in this, and maybe that's enough. But if you do feel that you do want to make some progress, you also have to recognize that if you're feeling shame or feeling guilt about it, that's only going to restrict your creativity. It's going to restrict you from being in the right state of mind to make that progress, to think about what your next logical step could be. So I think that's my advice to anyone, is to quit comparing yourself to other people and just breathe and just acknowledge that you are trying your best to get through this unprecedented time. My second tip is to create some boundaries. Now, I think a lot of people tend to craft an identity from being needed or being responsible for others, which is not a bad thing. I think if you're a parent or someone who has a role of responsibility, it's natural that in time you sort of start to weave it into who you are. But you have to be careful also that you don't push yourself to experience a burnout. This is a perfect time to try to create some balance. There's a quote I came across that I've never forgotten, which says, you have to first put on your gas mask before you can save others. And I think that's the importance of self-preservation. It's not necessarily narcissism, and it's not selfish. It's about knowing that there are times in life when you need to enrich yourself. You need to charge your own batteries, because if you don't do that, then how are you going to find the strength? How are you going to find the patience? Are you going to find the ability to even help someone else? So it's, you have to first do something, look after yourself as well in the process of looking after other people, so that way you can avoid burnout, you can avoid getting stressed, and that way you won't actually get to a point where you feel bad for yourself for not looking after yourself. So start to take, find time for yourself during the day. Make sure you put some me time into your schedule. That way you can actually begin to look after yourself as well, and not feel like you're letting yourself down. My third tip is to make fun non-negotiable. I think with everything that's going on at the moment, I've heard of so much loss and death and sorrow and grief that it actually feels like how this is not the time to be having fun in a way. But you have to realize that sometimes you have to create. I think you have to create fun. You have to, unless not wait until you feel like having fun, if that makes sense. So find small things to do. For me, I put on my favorite song, I dance around the house, that makes me so happy. I go for a jog, that makes me so happy. I find time to watch a film. Sometimes I feel quite guilty about watching a film because I'm like, I should be more productive. I know. But sometimes it's kind of like, just do something for fun, relax a bit. Understand that, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, but rather about learning to dance in the rain. And if you're like me as well, and you're quite ambitious, or you have so many goals, sometimes I used to think that maybe I'll wait until I've achieved all my goals to be happy or to celebrate. But learn to celebrate now. Learn to realize that tomorrow is not promised. That that one thing that you're waiting for to celebrate for, it's in a distance. So learn to just enjoy this moment that you have. Learn to have fun in this moment that you have. And I think when you have that sort of mentality, you enjoy the now, you enjoy the struggles, you enjoy everything that life brings with this moment. And I think when you can do that, life much more fun, and you can actually have a sense of peace as well. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share. And I think just always remember to find small ways to, I think, embed self-care into your daily habits and into your daily rituals. I think as you do that, you begin to lower the risk of being stressed or overwhelmed. That's it. Always remember that life rewards those who live intentionally. Thanks for joining me, guys.